Hey guys, so welcome back to my channel and today I'll be talking about Severance Season 2 Episode 2. So it came out yesterday in Apple TV Plus and well firstly if you haven't seen or heard about the show, it's a science fiction drama, mystery drama, and I believe the season was very good and it had it had the best cliffhanger in any form of television or movie ever, like the best cliffhanger. So if you haven't seen season 1, I highly recommend it. Anyways, coming back to this season 2 episode 2, and this is going to be a non-spoiler part. I will be talking about spoilers later, but for now I'm just gonna give my non-spoiler general thoughts. So I felt that this episode was perfect. I have no complaints. Like if the show continues this level of consistency, then I have to say that we are going to get one of the greatest seasons of television ever, because it's just so well written, so well thought out, and the acting is incredible, the production, the music, the cinematography, the editing, everything is perfect. Like it's just so good. The best part of the show for me is that it balances the amount of answers which you get and the mysteries which are being kept away from you, and this balance is just perfect. Sometimes they give you answers which you certainly would not expect, and then you would be given something even more strange and you will be left thinking what is actually happening, and that is very rare. No, like it's very difficult to pull off as well. Sometimes they have these hi-fi concepts and it's just missed potential. They screw it up very badly most of the times, but this show is how you do a high concept properly. Like it's just using it with full potential, and I'm just loving every second of it. And the acting, obviously, as I said, is so good. The fact that these actors are able to act out two different personas, if you have seen the show, you will know what I'm talking about. And the same character having two different personalities, and the actors are making them feel different, and it's just incredible to see. It's very difficult to do that. So when they're acting, these are two different people, and that's just very difficult to pull off, especially Britt Lower, who plays Helena, and she was just so good in this episode. You see this different side of her which you have never seen before, and it's just perfect. She acted so brilliantly. And obviously the cinematography, I have to talk about it. It was, I believe it was like on another level. And especially at the end, there was a scene, it's a one-hour sequence, like there are no cuts, it's just 2 minutes of one shot, and I have to say it's one of the best one-hours I've ever seen in a movie or a show, like period. It's just perfect. The music, the acting, the camera work, the subtext behind the scene, what is actually happening if you link it back to episode 1, it's just so brilliantly done, and it's just perfect, man. And listen, if you're not watching Severance, just stop what you're doing and watch it now. I highly recommend it, and I just hope every episode gets better. And yeah, those are my non-spoiler thoughts. Now if you have seen the episode, stay back, because I'm going to be talking about spoilers now. It's crazy, but it also makes sense that nobody gave a shit when Mark shouts she's alive. When like he shouts she's alive, that's the basic cliffhanger which I was talking about in the first season's last episode. And it makes perfect sense though, because they give a reason why nobody is caring about whether his wife is actually alive or not. When you think about it, it makes sense. If I was in their place, it would make sense. So it's just, again, well written. I love the fact that the entire first episode was inside Lumen, in the basement. And this episode is outside. The opening scene was also the exact same. They give us some answers of what actually happened, the aftermath of the overtime contingency. Some answers are given, some answers are not. Some more questions are being asked, For example, in episode 1, Miss Huang was there. She has not been mentioned in this episode. So we still don't know who she is, where she came from. I'm excited. Again, this is the best part of the show. It gives you mysteries, it gives you answers, it makes you think. That's what I love about it. And you continue to see that the people of Lumen are just evil, who think that their employees are just toys, that they can use them when they want and they can just throw them away when they don't. I didn't expect that they would fire Irving and Dylan, and then like almost immediately after one day they rehire them. And that just shows what the company would do to preserve their reputation, and it is very reflective to the real world. It happens in the real world, so this is a good part of the show. This is the messaging which I really like. And also the show also gives us a glimpse of discrimination in regards to the severed employees. It is shown in the scene of Dylan trying to get a new job, and again, so well acted, so well written. That scene was really good. And one thing I would say is even Mr. Milchick, he's an antagonist kind of, but I love him, man. He's just too good, and I just love the actor as well. The vibes which he gives is so good, and the small details in the show are so well put. Like for example, in the first episode, Mr. Milchick, he says to Mark that it's been 5 months since the Macrodat uprising, which is basically what happens in season 1 finale. But in reality, it's been only 2 days. So this idea that Any thinks it's been 5 months, but in reality, it's just 2 days. It's just mind boggling to me that they can do that. It's just crazy if you think about it. And in the internet, I saw this theory that, so in the last scene, the Warner scene, so when Helena enters the elevator, there is no beeping sound, which usually comes when you go through the elevator to the severed basement. So that might mean that she's her outie in the basement and she has not changed. So that would just change the whole perspective of the first episode if you think about it. And that's why maybe she lied in the first episode about not telling who she truly is. I don't know. It's just a theory which I saw, and if this is true, again, kudos to the writers, man. Just mind boggling. Like, it's just wow. How did they even come up with this stuff, man? Anyways, that's enough for today. I mean, if you haven't got the point till now after watching this 7-8 minutes of the video, well, I'll tell you now. Go watch Severance. Bye.